Hello, my name is Kat, and today I want to talk about the Hunger Games trilogy, the books versus the movies. So for this video, I've partnered up with Scholastic to discuss what the movies missed. This trilogy is one of my favorites of all time, and while I also love the movies, like they're some of the best adaptations I think I've ever seen, there were still, of course, some aspects that just didn't make it into the films. To be honest, I could make a whole video about why I prefer books to movies in general. There's just certain limitations when it comes to film, like budget or equipment or acting ability or time constraints. But with books and your imagination, like, the possibilities are endless. This video is going to contain some spoilers, but if you've read all the books or seen all the movies, then I don't think anything I'm going to say will ruin the other thing for you. The movies were very faithful adaptations, so I'm not really going to be talking about huge differences, but there were some aspects that I feel were just deeper and more explored in the books. So the first thing I feel that the books did better was to demonstrate the hardships of some of the districts, specifically the starvation in District 12. I mean, it is the Hunger Games series, but you don't get a lot of emphasis on hunger and starvation in the movies. Which is understandable, because it would be really unhealthy to have a bunch of actors starving themselves and looking emaciated for the film. But I could really feel that in the books, and it just kind of upped the stakes for everything. Like with the scene where Peeta gives Katniss bread, in the movies, she just looked like she was kind of having a bad day, a rough time, like she was kind of sad. But in the books, she was near starvation, and that bread was like a lifeline for her. Another aspect that the books just had more leeway with is the violence. I hope that doesn't make me sound too sadistic. The movie's gotta maintain that PG-13 rating, but the book doesn't have anything like that limiting it, so things can get darker, more brutal, and the movies are plenty brutal, like especially with different angles and lighting and music, you can really amp up the tension, but the book still had more freedom in describing specific details. On a somewhat lighter note, another thing that I liked that might make me come off as a bad person is how much of a jerk Gale was in the books. In the movies, the love triangle is amped up and the romance is kind of more balanced, like Gale stands more of a fighting chance. Not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of that credit just goes straight to Liam Hemsworth for being beautiful. But as a Team Peeta girl from the very beginning, I liked that Gale was more petty and jealous in the books, whereas in the movies, there's more of a decision for Katniss to make, it feels like, and I just, no, it's all about Peeta. Peeta is the only choice. It's not a choice, it's just Peeta's the one. Actually, a lot of the things on my list here have to do with character development and backstories and relationship development, because those are things that you just have more room to like play around with in a book. Like Finnick Odair is much more of a flirt in the books. Don't get me wrong, movie Finnick is great, but book Finnick is just sassier and more sensuous. And there's a scene in the books where we get to see Finnick Odair in his underwear that was not in the movies. And that is a tragedy. Another aspect that was just not as deep in the movies is Katniss'S friendships with other girls. Like her friend Madge from District 12, who is not in the movie at all. And her friendship with Joanna is just stronger in the books. Like, we get to see her more, we get to see Katniss and Joanna bonding more as they're training, and we get to learn what exactly happened to Joanna when she was held in the Capitol for so long. One of the biggest things that we got in the books that I really missed in the movies was Haymitch's backstory and his experience winning his Hunger Games. In the books, we get to see Haymitch's quarter quell, which gives us a better understanding of his character and also of the Capitol and what they're willing to do, and just more world building about the Hunger Games in general. Speaking of world development, there's just tons of little things sprinkled throughout the books that just didn't quite make it into the movies. We don't get a whole lot about the Avoxes in the movies, and we don't get anything about runaways from District 8 trying to make their way to District 13. We don't really get much of District 13 until we are there. Along with these world-building details that didn't quite make it into the movie, we also lose some fun, lighthearted scenes that didn't really move the plot forward, but were just really nice to have to like balance all the darker stuff happening. Like that aforementioned Finnick O'Dare in his underwear scene. That would have been a great addition. Specifically, in Catching Fire, there were a couple of really cute scenes that I missed. I missed them in the movies. Like when they're on the beach together, there's some more romance between Katniss and Peeta, and there's a fun little bit where Finnick and Katniss try to scare Peeta, and I just really appreciated that bit of fun, and you know, they were kind of happy for a moment before things get really, really bad. Now, I did just recently rewatch the movies, so I really could go on and on about all the little things that the movies missed. Like, the movies are fantastic, but there's just so much richness, so many details in the books that add to the characters and the world and the story. And if you haven't read the books, like, you're really missing out on some great stuff. I love these books so, so much, and I will always have a special place in my heart and on my shelf for them. Anyways, that is actually gonna be it for this video today. If you've read the books and seen the movies, I would love to hear from you guys. What is your favorite scene from the books that the movies missed? But yeah, that is gonna be it for this video today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great night, and I will have another video up soon, so I will see you then. Goodbye!